All right, we're live. Thanks for watching The Grind. I'm your host, Adam Johnson, 2ways10days.com. Got to plug the site, as always, for all things NBA G League. Thanks for watching, certainly. I'm going to pull up the site right now. We're just finishing up day 2 of the NBA G League Showcase. It's about to wrap up. Been quite an eventful first couple days. It is just a 4-day event, normally a 5-day event. They've shortened it, obviously, because they have 2 courts now they're fully using. It looks pretty nice, actually, over at Mandalay Bay, and kind of answers the question why it's not made public. It's a more intimate setting, obviously, there at Mandalay Bay. They don't really have the capacity to have the public there. Who knows? Maybe that'll change in the future if they change venues, per se. You kind of get an idea why that the public wasn't allowed. It wasn't a personal thing like that. I think logistically it just wouldn't really work, unfortunately. But we're recapping it here. It's going to be a great show. Got Dusty Hannas is going to come on just a little bit for the Memphis Hustle. I'm going to plug a few articles right now. Had a chance to talk to Raphael Putney a few weeks back. He's a very interesting person. Been following the last few years. Finally got a chance to speak with him one-on-one. Yeah, I mean, I was there when he had his breakout game in Santa Cruz at the showcase. So I've been kind of gravitated towards him ever since. So that's what's there. So I mean, I'm very pleased with the story. Little nuggets of information there. Like I didn't know before talking to him, he had a twin brother. He's trying to take 4,000 calories a day. Those sorts of things. So that's a great story. I can't plug it enough. And of course, this one I've been working on for months is another fun one. Was a 3-point revolution almost put on ice by the G League? So in 04-05, like just quick synopsis. The league was concerned if people were taking too many 3-pointers. I know, shock, right? So they instituted a rule for one season. 3-pointers would not count until the final 3 minutes of each quarter. So, and this was sort of the end result. So I had a chance to talk to Andre Ingram about it. He didn't play then, but he's a 3-point champion of the G League. Kent Davison, a head coach during the D League or G League at that time. Matt Carroll, who played along that rule, who's now a broadcaster for the Charlotte Hornets. Stu Jackson, who's the executive vice president of basketball operations back then in the NBA. Yeah, I'm very pleased with this article. Took a few months to put together all this information, piecing it, and confirming with the league. Not they took that long, but I'm saying just putting it all together in a cohesive manner. So please check that out. I'm very pleased with that as well. Put a lot of work into that one. But we can go over here, and let's talk G League. So got this one up, obviously. Memphis Hustle, 124-113 day over the Wisconsin Herd. Kick the door in at the G League, right? They started yesterday with a win, and they're doing it again today. Back-to-back games. I mean, that's a separate topic, really, for the G League. I still question playing back-to-backs at a 4-day event or a 5-day event as it was. I don't make the schedule, obviously, but I would assume in a perfect world, nobody should be playing back-to-backs at an event like that, especially when they want players at their best. And we know the problems with playing back-to-backs against health and endurance and things of that nature. So I would imagine you'd want, to put your players in the best possible position to compete, especially in front of NBA scouts. So it tears me. I know some teams actually prefer it because they get in and out of the showcase sooner, and especially now with the way the schedule's set up. There's a long winter break in between there too. So the sooner you get in and done, the sooner you can get out, maybe get a few extra days of rest on the back end. That's a side of it. But I imagine if I had it my way, if I had any say, I'd prefer not to do a back-to-back. I would want one to be rushed. I'd want my players in the best condition possible. You never know. I mean, it's maybe not NBA scouts, maybe international scouts or other, front office personnel there that are taking note as well. So who knows? Yeah, that's why I don't make the decisions though. So we wrap up yesterday's games as well. We had the Memphis Hustle I mentioned earlier take on the Raptors 905. That's day 2 of the showcase here. Of course, we can pull back here. Yeah, Memphis Hustle tipped it off against the Raptors down 5. Raptors without Chris Boucher. Needless to say, though, they got it done 135-123. The Capital City Go-Go with their win 110-91 over the Austin Spurs. Lakeland Magic holding on for the 109-102 victory over the Maine Red Claws. Westchester Knicks, Iowa Wolves were down 28 points at one point. Trying to say that 3 times fast. Against the Knicks, and they came back and won this game. Erie Bayhawks took this one. Isaac Humphries with a game he can be proud of, especially in front of Showcase, at the Showcase here. 34 points, 15 rebounds. What a performance for him. I think he was averaging 8 points, 5 rebounds per game going into the Showcase. So a stand-up performance for him. Maybe that's a turning point in his season. They did this without Terrence Jones, who's out, I believe, with the ankle injury. Don't quote me on that. He didn't play also in Santa Cruz before the Showcase either. So he's been out for a bit. Daryl Macon gets buckets, 28 points for him for Texas. We gotta go back here again. So I mentioned it earlier. Texas here. Grand Rapids falls to Agua Caliente. Jonathan Motley and Angel Delgado. Good night. They're really clicking. They're doing amazing things down there in Agua Caliente. Gotta love what they're doing. Northern game of maybe the lowest combined score possible. Northern Arizona 99-87. Windy City prevails with Walt Lemon Jr., who was traded by the Mad Ants to Windy City after the Boston Celtics cut him as a two-way player. I don't think Boston has filled in that position yet, which is interesting. I would assume if and when you make those decisions, you kind of have a plan in mind, unless there's some other issues going on. Perhaps not to say that's on Walt Lemon, but maybe there's other devices at work that they need. They need that two-way roster spot for whatever reason. So it's a interesting scenario there. But Walt Lemon, I think he had 20 points yesterday, held Windy City. They're in a tough spot, Windy City, because they are missing Tyler Eulis, one of their two-way guys, out with a hip injury, I believe. He's still out, obviously. He only played a couple games this season. He's been out. So, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. Just 8 players for Windy City. That's tough. Dikembe Dixon, they acquired, I believe, from the player pool as well recently. So, they almost just had 7 players, if you think about it. Yeah, Walt Lemon, 20 points, 12 assists, doing what he does most. He's great, of course. And Northern Arizona, 87 points. George King, 20 points. They just traded for Hollis Thompson, but they gave up the player rights to Isaiah Kanan and Josh Gray. That's a tough one. If I'm looking on paper, and again, you don't know if and when those guys are going to come back or play in the G League at all. Isaiah Kanan might, because he was just waived by Phoenix. But, on the surface, that feels like too much. But maybe I'm, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. That seems like a lot to give up just for Hollis Thompson. Maybe you don't plan on those guys coming back. Maybe you need that as a asset for a future trade of some sort. It just seems like a lot for a single transaction per se, especially 2 point guards. When Phoenix is hurting for a point guard right now, they need a point guard. So it's very interesting. So to me, that feels like too much. And but I'm not an NBA G League GM, so who knows what I'm talking about. Recapping day 1 here. We said Northern Arizona. Yes. Okay, so today, Long Island, Rio RGV, Long Island with the win. Jordan McLaughlin went off for Long Island, 32 points. I believe that's a new season high for him in the win. The Nets are without Theo Pinson, so he filled in nicely for them. They don't have Zanon Musa either. I believe he was recalled as well. Tajir McCall, 12 points. Mitch Creek, 5 points for him as well. Looking at RGV side. Brandon Sampson, nice 21 point, 8 rebounds, 7 assists game. Bruno Caboclo, 9 points for him. He's kind of hit or miss. He's doing better on the defensive end, I think, if you look at his numbers. Just 13 minutes for him. 5 personal fouls. You see that right there. So he was in foul trouble most of the game. Couldn't get it really going. Gary Payton, 15 points. He just made his return recently to the Vipers just before the Showcase. It's not a coincidence these guys all come back right before the Showcase. They want to get their reps in before all the 10-day contracts made available. So this is the best place to put yourself out there at the showcase. And maybe that's another reason they bumped it up, is so guys come back earlier in the season. Never thought of that as well. Interesting. Looking at it today as well, you got Wisconsin, Memphis Hustle again. We're going to talk to Dusty Hannes in a little bit. Greensboro with the with the 106-90 victory over the South Bay Lakers. And Sioux Falls getting back on track after the brief losing streak with a 108-95 victory over Canton. Right now, as a fact, Salt Lake City, Fort Wayne, 4:20 left in the fourth quarter. Salt Lake up 98-92. As that score just changed right in front of us. Stockton with the Delaware with a 55-48 lead. And then tonight, in about 30 minutes, Santa Cruz will take on the Lakeland Magic. Lakeland, another team that played just yesterday, so they're playing a back-to-back as well, along with Memphis. Just an interesting scenario when you have two courts available, then you have teams still playing back-to-back games. But I digress. But a lot of talent here. You got Grayson Allen on assignment. I believe Tony Bradley's there too. Harry Giles for Stockton. Let's check in on Harry Giles, see what he's doing. In fact, let's see where we're at right here. Harry Giles, 6 points on 3 of 8 in 12 minutes so far. Not bad. Not a bad line. And Kalen Lucas already with 15 points in the first half. He's doing very well for them as well. And they also have Troy Williams. I could have sworn I read that Troy Williams was being recalled back from Stockton yesterday. I thought I read that. I'll have to look that. Okay, well, they got Troy Williams as well. So it should be a very competitive game. Haywood Highsmith, 6 points on 2 of 6, including 2 of 5 from 3. Cameron Oliver doing his thing, 12 points. Jonah Bolden on assignment, 10 points for the Bluecoats. About to say the other name. So, good on him. Should be a good one. So what we're going to do right now is, as we're wrapping this up, I'm going to bring on Dusty Hannes. So we will be right back. All right, we're back. Joining me now on the grind is Dusty Hannes, the one and only, from the Memphis Hustle. Dusty, how you doing today, man? Yeah, I think it's been It's been a, it's I mean it's a showcase, so I mean obviously it's gonna it's 2 days. So for you guys, it's fascinating. You guys come in quick and you kick the door open and stake your claim, and you're heading on out now. I mean, what does that what does that do for a team? You come on in and you kind of just own the place in a matter of days and put your stamp on it. And you guys sort of struggled out the gate a bit, but you've won, I think, 7 of your last 8, if I'm not mistaken. What's been the difference for you guys as of late, especially before heading into the showcase? We're watching highlights here of your play this past couple days. When DJ Steffens takes off, do you have to prepare a runway for him, or how does that work when he gets airborne? And you mentioned Brad Jones. You haven't played for a coach like that. Can you go into a little more detail how he is different as head coach compared to other previous stops? And maybe you played for Glenn Cyprian last year, probably one of my favorite coaches last year. Maybe compare and contrast the different styles between the two of them.
Please, Coach Sip, yeah, Coach Sip's obviously awesome. No player in the world wouldn't want to play for Coach Sip. Great dude, and also a great coach. But Coach Jones is, very elite in my eyes.
We're talking to Dusty Hannes here, the Memphis Hustle. Second year as a pro, Dusty. You look a lot more comfortable out there, in my opinion. What do you attribute that to? Is that just another year under your belt, or is there something? I'm not a player. I can't really relate to that in that sense, obviously, but I want to know what's the difference. Is your take on that as far as your approach to the game, if you do feel comfortable out there, more comfortable, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it comes with, time, getting used to the different sides of the court, coming out like my rookie year. So I think a year definitely helped me understand the game fully now of how it's played at the pro level. And just I worked really hard this off season at the stuff that I saw that I needed to improve on, my body and, other facets of my game. So I kind of had a really good attack this summer on the stuff that I needed to, and starting to show people, that what I did at the end of last season, wasn't a fluke, and showing that, with this year as well.
And when you say things you need to work on or improve, what were those things you say were that you needed to maybe improve upon yourself to fully form and turn into a complete or more complete player, I should say?
It was just changing my body, getting as light as I can be, you know, just always changing my diet as far as, eating less bread, carbs and stuff like that. So that was operation number one for me this off season. And then working off the pick and roll and just, honing my off the dribble game and, staying in the weight room with some of the strength coaches from back in at Arkansas, where I was at, Adam Petway. He's now with the Philadelphia 76ers. So just being in there with him and working on my game like I always have, just, it's helped me a lot.
Watching you drain some threes here, highlights from your game against Northern Arizona. Um, why did you decide to come back this year? I mean, that's a fairly common question, I guess you might get, but some guys usually get 1 year under their belt and say, you know what, I'm ready to go overseas, or I've had enough G League. Maybe some guys, but in your opinion, why did you want to come back?
I mean, when I got my opportunity last year, when Coach Sip gave me an opportunity to, get to play minutes and, show what I could do, that made me, assured that I could play in the NBA, just watching how the game is being played today. And I felt like I had unfinished business, and I'm trying to show that this year.
I see. So, the showcase, I mean, how important is it for you to kind of, the showcase, I guess, essentially is done for you, I guess, in the Memphis Hustle. You can't have a better performance, but how important is it to find success at a showcase with all 30 teams present and watching pretty much every single move you make on the court? What kind of pressure is that for a player?
I mean, I don't look at it as pressure. It's just I take the same focus in every game, and I just think it's just 2 games of the 50. How I look at it coming into here, I wasn't going to try and do anything spectacular. Just do what I've been doing this year, and my teammates were also the same way. That we're used to playing, and most of us at college gyms with 20,000 people, and it wasn't scary to just see a gym full of the executives, even though that is a very important thing for us. It can only mess you up if you're the type to look over there and get nervous, So we came in here and played our game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, in most cases, you have NBA scouts at G League games anyway, so it's maybe a bit more amplified, right. But there's someone always watching, I suppose. So
exactly, yeah, we've been kind of taught that pretty well. So it makes it not feel as different because there's always scouts at the games.
Right on. A teammate of yours that sort of intrigued me, I kind of kept on my radar, was Doral Moore, the 7-footer. I think it's Wake Forest. I think.
Wake Forest. Yeah.
There we go. I like to pretend I know what I'm doing. Describe, if you can. I feel like he's come in just a short period of time. We're talking under 20 games this season. He feels like he's come really far. What have you seen out of him in this short span as a teammate?
I'm just seeing him realize the effort meter that he has. That if he has, he can make a lot of money playing this game. Coach Jones and the coaches have really helped with his development. And it's cool to watch him grow, and he's been an integral part of this team and this run we're making.
Talking to Dusty Hannes here of the Memphis Hustle. What are you going to do over the break? Now you got a few days of rest.
Oh, man, going back to Little Rock and, just hanging with friends and family and getting to spend Christmas there, which I haven't been able to do in a while, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited to wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow and get on the flight home.
5 a.m.? That's probably I can't imagine being excited to get up that early, but I guess if you're going home, it means something. Yeah. No, my kids are usually up at 5 a.m. and I'm groaning trying to, they're waking me up to get out of bed, and I'm like, kid, go. The sun's not even up. 6:30 sounds a bit more my time. So, but he's only 6, and he just, I wish I had that kind of energy. When was the last time you went home for Christmas? Sounds like it's been a while.
Man, it's been years. Last year we played in Sioux Falls on Christmas Day, and even when I was at school at Arkansas, it was always like having to come back like Christmas Eve or like early in the morning Christmas. I really only came back one time at Arkansas. So over the past, 7 years or 6 years, I've only got to be at a couple Christmases. So just really excited to get home for this one.
Wow. That's, especially when I imagine family means a lot to you. So
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on today. One last question. I try and ask this of all my guests. It's a very serious, controversial question. It's a yes or no. Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
No. No, I do not.
Dusty,
I do not like pineapple on my pizza.
That was an adamant. That was a hard no. And
I've had this argument so many times.
Really, you sound very passionate about the no pineapple on pizza. Tell me more about this. Why are you so angry about pineapple on pizza, Dusty?
How about you? Before I answer it, what is you? Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Well, let me preface it by saying I am from California, so we do a lot of weird stuff with our food. Yeah. So it is a hard yes for me for the pineapple on pizza debate. So
it just came about a few years ago. I feel like where I first started seeing it, and then it became a phenomenon, on social media and stuff. But I just can't. I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Okay, but you've tried it, right? You've actually tried pineapple on pizza?
I have. I've tried it. I'm not a huge fan.
Okay, that's fine. I give you more credit than most people who just gawk and question and don't even at least attempt to try it. So, Dusty, congratulations, 2-0 at the showcase. You get to go home. You get your team a nice present all wrapped up in a bow, and enjoy the break, man. It sounds like you guys need it, or you need it. You haven't been home in just a couple times in a few years. Relax, man. You earned it. Okay.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Good luck the rest of the way, Dusty. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Dusty Hannes, the Memphis Hustle. Nice quick interview there. Man, I couldn't imagine going home or not being able to go home for Christmas for a few years. I mean, that's got to be tough, but hopefully he can enjoy that. And his team is doing very well right now. I mean, like he said, they kind of found a rhythm, and they're making the most of it. We'll take a look at the standings right now. Memphis Hustle, 12-7. They're 7-3 over their last 10. They're on a 3-game win streak. Obviously, the 2 games that they won at the showcase. Needless to say, they're doing very well for themselves. Again, when you look at the Western Conference here, it's the top 6 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Austin Spurs right here are the cutoff, top 6. But then you've got Salt Lake's 9-9, Stockton 7-7, RGV's 9-9, even South Bay that's 9-10. I mean, you've got all these other teams that are in the mix, mostly because it's a 6-team playoff. So you can't count out these other teams here just yet. You've just got Oklahoma City and Santa Cruz up top here on the Eastern Conference. Long Island 12-5, their win over I'm blanking right now, but they won today. I know that because Jordan McLaughlin scored 32 points, and of course, Will Weaver, head coach of the Nets, tweeted at me and asked me when I was going to do the article on Jordan McLaughlin. So he's called me out. Might have to do a write-up. I'll need to talk to McLaughlin. I really wish I was in Vegas. Obviously, I'm not. But I'll make the most of it. It's not the first time I've missed a showcase. Probably won't be the last, but we'll do what we can. Lakeland Magic 9-7. Greensboro Swarm 9-8 with their winners of 5 in a row. So they're doing all right for themselves too. So it's been a fun showcase so far. Nearly halfway wrapped up. If there are no other questions, we're going to wrap this up right now. Thank my guest Dusty Hannes for coming on. Very enjoyable experience there, to say the least. Staunch opposer of the pineapple on pizza, and that was a hard no. That was a hard no for the pizza. Didn't understand, but he's tried it, so I can't knock the guy anymore. So with that, we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks for watching. I'll probably try and do one Saturday as well as the G League Showcase wraps up. Who knows? We'll have a guest then. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.